Hello, and welcome to the UK Counter-Terrorism Podcast. Here, we take you inside one of the most pressing security challenges of our time. From the latest threats facing the UK, to the strategies and operations designed to stop them, this is where we break down the facts, cut through the noise, and bring you clear, informed insights. Whether you're in the security field, a student, or simply someone who wants to understand how terrorism impacts our world and how it's being fought, you're in the right place. Stay with us as we explore the front line of security, intelligence, and resilience. This is the UK Counter-Terrorism Podcast.
Good evening, and welcome to the UK Counter-Terrorism Podcast. My name is Josh, and I'm your host. Before we begin today's special episode, a content warning. We'll be discussing the terrorist attack that took place today at a synagogue in Manchester. This episode will include references to violence and loss of life. Please take care of yourself as you listen, and if this subject feels too close to home, it may be best to skip this episode. First and foremost, I want to express my deep condolences to the victims, their families, and the Jewish community in Manchester and across the UK. Our thoughts are with you. As you're all aware, an incident occurred today in Manchester, and it has been absolutely devastating to the country. Here's what we know so far. Earlier today in Manchester, a synagogue was attacked. A vehicle was driven into pedestrians and a stabbing took place. Tragically, 2 people have been killed and several more injured. The suspect was shot by police at the scene, and the incident is being treated as a major security event. And quite recently, I have heard that it has been declared as a terrorist attack. In the aftermath, police have increased patrols, particularly around other synagogues and places of worship, to reassure communities and deter any potential further threats. Investigations are ongoing and details may still change as the situation develops. My focus today will not be on speculation, but on what this means for the security at places of worship, and what steps can be taken to protect people in the future. So why are places of worship a target? Well, places of worship are often targeted for 2 reasons: vulnerability and symbolism. They are vulnerable because they are open by design. Doors are open, services are regular and predictable, and gatherings can be large for attackers. This makes them easier targets than hardened or heavily policed venues. They are symbolic because an attack on a religious community is also an attack on identity and belonging. We have seen this before: the Christchurch mosque shootings in New Zealand, the Pittsburgh synagogue attack in the United States, and the Halle synagogue in Germany, the Finsbury Park mosque attack here in the UK. Today's tragedy in Manchester fits into that same pattern, targeting a community at prayer, a sacred place that should be safe. Many places of worship face real challenges when it comes to security. They are often run by volunteers, budgets are limited, and there may be little or no expertise in counter-terrorism or protective security. Some communities have invested in protective measures after previous incidents, but overall, preparedness remains inconsistent. Some buildings may have CCTV and controlled entry, while others remain completely open. The government is introducing the Protect Duty, also known as Martin's Law, which will require certain venues, including places of worship, to carry out risk assessments, plans for emergencies, and provide basic staff training. But legislation alone will not be enough. Communities need practical, realistic, and affordable solutions that they can apply right now. Here are some immediate and medium-term steps that places of worship can take to strengthen their security without closing their doors. So what can we do right now? Well, the immediate steps we can take are reach out to your local police counter-terrorism security advisor, also known as a CTSA, for a free security assessment and advice. Introduce stewarding, so using trusted volunteers at entrances who greet people, monitor and keep watch. Think about vehicle access. Could a car be driven into your building or congregation? If so, consider temporary barriers, planters or gates. Test your CCTV, lighting and locks. Let's keep these buildings secure. Agree on a simple emergency communication system, like a phone tree or WhatsApp groups for leaders. But what can we do in the coming weeks, so in that short term? Well, write down a basic risk assessment. What threats could happen? Who would be most at risk? And how people would evacuate or evacuate. Train volunteers in spotting suspicious behaviour and in emergency first aid, including bleeding control. But also, the Protect and Prepare website has good resources such as the ACT certificates or the ACT awareness certificates. And if you can't find them, reach out to try and get hold of them. Apply for the Home Office Protective Security funding for places of worship. Grants are available to improve doors, alarms, and CCTV and other measures. But what can we do in the next coming months? So then medium term. Well, invest in physical protections where possible. So stronger entry points, reinforced glazing and monitored alarms. Establish a single point of contact with your local police and emergency services. Develop a continuity plan. How will you continue your community's activities if your site is temporarily closed? These measures do not mean turning places of worship into fortresses. They're about resilience, making sure communities remain open and safe. Well, as we close this episode, I want to say this clearly. Preparedness is not about living in fear. It is about empowerment. It is about giving communities the confidence to keep their doors open, to welcome people in, and to continue their worship and community life in safety. Today's attack in Manchester is a tragedy, and our thoughts remain with the victims and their families. But it must also be a call to action for every faith community, every place of worship, to take preparedness seriously. If you are a community leader, please share this episode with others. If you attend a place of worship, ask what plans are in place and how you can help. Together, we can ensure that our sacred spaces remain places of peace, sanctuary, and resilience. Thank you very much for watching this episode. If you find yourself a victim of terrorism, there is the Survivors Against Terrorist charity, which is a fantastic organisation. And what I'll do is I will link their website's address in the description. But please reach out to people, get support. And if you're a community leader that needs assistance, again, please reach out. We need to be better prepared to prevent tragedies like this happening. Thank you very much for watching the UK Counterterrorism podcast, and I hope to see you at my next video. See you soon.